And we're back with an all-new episode of Keep It, or as I call it, the original Love Island. Look at this table. It is an island. I'm Louis Virtel. I remain a host of Keep It. And today on the show, we have one of my longest LA friends, first of all, but second of all, a podcaster in his own right and a fabulous podcaster. He's the host of the Watch What Crappens podcast. Nobody knows more about Bravo than this man. He's like the most trusted Bravo knower, I think, in television history. History will remember you. It is Ben Mandelker. Welcome to Keep It.
Thank you so much, Louis. I mean, I feel so honored to have found my lane in life, which is knowing all sorts of information about trashy, awful people.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because obviously your reality TV knowledge probably precedes Bravo. Was there a specific reality TV show that got you into the fray in the first place?
Into Bravo, it was Real Housewives of Orange County. I mean, my origin story is that I came to LA to be a writer, and that didn't really quite work out. You had all these like sort of fits and starts.
Well, there's only like 6 writers altogether anymore.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And so while that was sort of brewing, I started blogging back in 2004, and my friends and I started to blog. And no one was really doing TV recapping. And so I started recapping things like The Hills and Laguna Beach and Big Brother and Amazing Race and Survivor. And so that was like my foray really into like reality TV. And then my friend was like, you have to start watching Real Housewives of Orange County. And at first I was like, I don't know. But I started watching, starting with season 3. That must have been 2009, 2008, 2000. I mean, these housewives shows we're coming up on 20 years.
No, it's an institution. It actually creeps me out. Like
it's
that
wild.
These are now, I always compare these shows to Gunsmoke. Like they're like, wow, we just get more and more of them. Miss Kitty lives. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was just like, okay. And so I started recapping them on my blog, and it was just like a fun little thing. And then somewhere along the way, I was helping a friend move, and he's like, by the way, I'm counsel for this upstart thing that might be a good option for you. We're doing web series. So I started doing this web series called Housewives Hoedown. And that was 2011. And that was all about the Real Housewives. And that sort of just morphed into Watch What Crappens. And at that time, it was just like a fun side gig. But like, it really just plunged me deep and hard into the world of Bravo.
Yeah. And you were so fabulous to listen to. And
thank you.
I'm thrilled to have had a fabulous past with you because we, in the year of 2011, went to a Prince concert, which was at the Forum, which is a legendary stay where you could get cheap Prince tickets.
I think they were $25.
I don't know what was going on with Prince at the time, but this was completely anathema to any previous version of Prince.
Yeah, he was doing like the 21-night gig at the Forum. And what was crazy was I had reached out to like a bunch of people being like, does anyone want to come with me to see Prince? And you were the only one who was like, yes, I will come. And I was like, what is wrong with these people? It's a Prince show for $25.
Yes.
And so I was actually so grateful because first of all, it was just like a fun thing for us to do. And so we went, and like it is probably I think it's the best concert I've ever gone to.
It remains the best concert I've ever gone to, and I'm positive it will not be surpassed.
It will not be, especially because what happened at that concert will forever be special and can never, ever be truly replicated.
Yes.
Which is that Chaka Khan was the opener.
And she did great.
She was great.
Yes.
And I will always remember sitting next to you, and I saw this there was like this wobbly mass of hair coming up from the seats,
from the audience,
from the audience, if you will. That's the technical term. Went up the staircase, and I remember you said, oh my God, it's Whitney Houston.
I absolutely knew from the hair shape it was Whitney Houston. I'm
knew.
Telling you, I saw 1/4 of an eighth of her hair, and I knew it was Whitney Houston.
When I tell you, it was so fast how quickly you recognized her hair. And I feel like I'm pretty good. And I feel like I have a pretty good like celebrity hair eye myself. But you were on it. And I was like, Louis, what is Louis talking about? And sure enough, Whitney Houston came up on stage right there with Chaka Khan. And she basically took Chaka Khan's microphone.
Imagine her not taking it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like the stage was a giant Prince symbol. And I will always remember Chaka Khan's up there, a star in her own right, an icon in her own right. And Whitney Houston takes this microphone, not rudely,
but
just takes it appropriately. And she walks down that Prince symbol, which is like a runway. And I just remember her going to the edge of that stage, and it was like we are now at a Whitney Houston concert.
No, I didn't know what had happened. And it was clear that she was kind of just in the audience. So it was this sort of guerrilla moment of Whitney Houston like arriving, and we're all fine with it. And it's rare that Prince is performing anyway, so maybe something this strange is totally fine. And she sounded pretty good to start. And then I don't know what she ended up singing, because she didn't do any Whitney Houston songs.
We were all expecting that she might do "I'm Every Woman" with Chaka Khan, which they did not do.
Right.
It felt like an obvious choice, a crowd pleaser.
If I had to rank the choices for what they would do, I might pick "I'm Every Woman." But then eventually, I believe Whitney Houston vocalized, and a growl occurred.
What happened was she did like one or two songs up there with Chaka, and then she went back down to the audience, and then later on, if I remember correctly, she came back up when Prince was on stage, and she did the same thing. She did like the catwalk thing, and this time she like a weird croak came out. I just remember she went for a note. It was like, ah! Like it was like a saliva sound.
Right. Yes, we were hearing something internal.
Something was in there, and she very quickly returned the mic and scuttled off.
It felt like she was maybe scuttled off, as in like somebody like rushed her out.
And I think that actually she went to rehab like a day or so later.
Correct.
And that was actually one of her last public performances, because that was 2011. That was in May.
Yes.
And then
she died in 2012.
She died like 6 months later. She did like a performance the night before the Grammys. And then she died, I think, that night or the next day. And so she may have done some other things in that interim, but it was definitely one of the last times. And I remember thinking at that time when Prince was doing these shows, he had all these celebrity guests coming up on stage.
Right.
And there was like, every show had like a ton of them. And we had Whitney Houston, and then I think Cedric the Entertainer came up on stage at one point.
Shockingly, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Somehow it was not as iconic.
Cedric the not as entertaining, as I call him. Yeah.
And like everyone got these crazy long encores. And I remember thinking like, oh man, we only got Whitney Houston. we had no encores. And now actually I think it was probably the most legendary thing to have seen.
Yeah, no, and also if you had told me at the time, oh, and Shaka's gonna easily outlive them by a decade, I would have been like, thanks, creepy wizard, no way.
I know, but it was an amazing concert on its own. But the fact that we actually got to see Whitney Houston and Prince sharing the stage together it's
zany.
It's
like one of those like shirts you buy on Hollywood Boulevard that has like Tupac next to John Lennon.
Like a tribute.
Yeah, right,
And Cedric the Entertainer.
Yes,
I don't want to like, let's make sure we get all the icons in there.
I just want to say that when you go to a concert like that, you then have to cope with that memory for the rest of your life. As you're probably hearing right now, it's such an intense memory. Now, Ben, we initially wanted to talk about Love Island, and we will get there. But unfortunately, there's breaking news. Our producer ran in here like she won The Price is Right.
Yes.
And there's news that Taylor Swift, who is an American pop singer, is engaged to Travis Kelce, a football man.
This is, I am, as the kids would say, shooketh.
I guess we all knew it was coming, but at the same time, I'm shocked it would ever occur. I don't know.
I think I'm less shocked that it's happening. I'm more just shocked that it's happening right now.
Right.
Specifically while we are together.
Yes. No, it was designed for us to react to. Yes.
It was engineered perfectly.
Yes. It says here, your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. The pictures are as gorgeous as you expect. The jewelry is popping. They're in an embrace that's not too sexy.
Listen, it's got to be for all audiences.
Right. I feel like there's a sign above her door that says not too sexy, which is the key to her whole thing.
Not too sexy, never too sexy. That's what the Instagram post, is it from her?
Yes, that says your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married.
Wow. This is going to break the internet. I have to say, I'm not going to lie. My phone was going off like nonstop right before this, and like that must have been what it was about.
Yeah, and also, by the way, you're not like a known Taylor Swift fan. You just have to be kept in, like, you have to know. I
am not a full-fledged Swiftie at all. I'm like Swift appreciative, and I'm just like, but like, I think I feel like this is the thing that just everyone texts everyone. This is like a pop culture thing right now. Like we're here for it.
No, I have so many questions.
Right now.
Do we get a primetime wedding? Do I get to turn on the TV and see it?
Who gets invited? Can we get invited?
Does she treat People Magazine like wedding exclusive? Like, how does she handle this kind of thing? It reminds me of Sean Penn and Madonna. It's like I can already picture the helicopters overhead.
Oh, this could be fascinating because she has her squad. And people come in and people come out of the squad. And I think this is going to be a true kind of like referendum on who is truly in the squad, because who gets to go to this wedding is going to say, does Lord get an invitation?
Right. How many people from the Bad Blood video get invited? Mariska Hargitay, will you be there?
Will you be there? Todrick, will Todrick be there?
Wow, yes, right. You can calm down. You need to calm down video.
You need to calm down.
MTV Video of the Year winner. Todrick Hall, arguably the architect of it.
This is gonna be like Hunger Games to get that invitation.
Do you think she'll have one gay groomsman on her side?
Yes.
That seems so her, right? Mason jars at the wedding, one gay groomsman.
Oh, there will be mason. There'll be like some sort of like crocheted like netting thing that like the seating chart will be like attached to some sort of ropey thing that you have to pluck it off.
Yes,
and go to your table. You know.
Yeah, no, I picture some crinoline. Yeah. No, just delicate fabrics.
Lots of mason jars everywhere. Like votives.
Yeah,
votives left and right on the dance floor. You know?
Right. A little haunted. You know, like what the Mom and Carrie, like how that room looks. Yeah.
But I feel like this will also be, you'll have a weird mix of like her squad, but then also football players.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a strange kind of like I feel like Jason Kelce is going to be there, like bare chested on the dance floor, dancing the electric slide or something, while like Zoe Kravitz is off to the side, sort of trying to figure out what's going on. Zoe Kravitz in the squad? I feel like she is.
I don't think so.
She feels like squad appropriate.
Right. But she's Nepo in a way where she's like, maybe I'm in the squad, maybe I'm not.
She still would get it. I would give her an invitation.
Yeah. If not Todrick Hall, who's the one gay at the wedding?
Who is the one gay?
Does she know another gay?
Is it like Michael Urie? Someone random like that?
Oh, that would be great.
Like,
I
could
him.
see that.
Talent.
Like I could see like a Michael Urie. I could see
I hope it's not someone influencer-y. I hope it's a talent.
I want someone who could perform at the wedding.
Yeah. Like so it has to be Adam Lambert level. Yes.
It could be Adam Lambert himself. Yeah. Although I don't know. He might be too like edgy rock and roll. Right?
It could be for that crowd.
It could be a lot for the football set is Adam Lambert.
Well, I have to say, Taylor Swift always is doing such hard work for people born in the late 80s. And I feel like she is my generation's legacy. Yeah. So I thank her for everything she's done.
Yes.
In other words, you can't fuck up this marriage. You're doing it for everybody, sweetie.
This is a forever couple now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going all the way.
Put a stamp on it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've dealt with Taylor Swift. Let's get to the pressing issues in our country. Love Island, which you are obsessed with.
Obsessed, Louis.
Yes. Now, you have to kind of explain this to me because I have a couple of pop culture blind spots.
Okay.
And this one, I've watched explainer videos of Love Island because I love you and I want to be on your level.
Thank you.
This show will kill my brain.
Yeah. And when I saw that you were going to go down the path of Love Island for today's episode, I was like, that's a big ask. I mean, first of all, every season is 50 episodes long.
Right. But we're both Big Brother people. So I've handled that previously.
Yes. But it's just a lot to binge. And then they had this reunion last night that was like 2 hours long. I love Love Island. I've never been into a dating show. I've never been into dating reality. I don't watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette or any of those. But Love Island, I think it's deeply entertaining. I think what's amazing about Love Island is that it's ostensibly about love and relationships, but that's kind of like a MacGuffin because it's actually about friendships, which sounds so cheesy. And I feel like I'm such a cynical person that why would I care about friendships? But it's actually very endearing to watch. And there is also this really very appealing quality of it that it's this sort of live. It feels like a live show because it's basically taped the night before. I mean,
which is wild. The editing process makes no sense to me. They will literally tape something on a Tuesday and it's on the air by a Thursday. Yeah. Or even Wednesday.
Or a Wednesday sometimes. I mean, the turnaround is so impressive. And everyone's just sort of watching it together and commenting together, and you just sort of get pulled into it. As a Big Brother fan, did you ever watch Big Brother After Dark?
Every once in a while, yeah.
And
where they are truly sitting around sometimes.
They are truly sitting around, but you find it oddly compelling to watch.
Well, it's also weirdly on accident a totally different narrative from the rest of the show. Because it's not episodic. So you're sort of getting the real scoop on who these people are.
Yeah. And so I think with Love Island, first of all, it's very twisty and turny. The producers, you get the sense that they are kind of flying by the seat of the pants. They're seeing what's working, what's not. They're going to throw in this wrench, throw in that wrench. And the twists are hilarious. There's very campy moments as people are crying or they're shocked. There's always these water cooler moments every single season. But ultimately, it's you actually just really enjoy the relationships that these people, these very sort of shallow influencers build with each other over the course of a summer. They develop inside jokes and they become your inside jokes that you tell with your friends. And then there's also, honestly, what's really great about Love Island, if you ever were to go down this path, because I can already see that you're hooked.
Yes, right.
So I'm reading it all over.
No, but I like being addicted to something.
What I will
TV
say
wise.
is, and to anyone out there who might be Love Island curious, watch it with some friends, because really the show is at its best when you're watching with friends and you're making fun of the people on TV or you're commenting on their behavior. It's like the equivalent of sitting with a friend when they're on their Tinder profile, swiping left or right, you know, or going through your friend's dating profile. You know, that sort of like communal element where you're saying, oh, I don't like that guy. You know, like, oh, you know, he's cute, but I don't like that he added this on his profile. It's kind of like the living version of that. You know, as people are talking, you're kind of saying, you know what? He's not into her. I can tell he's not into her. Or, you know, she likes him. She likes him a lot, but I think she still likes that other guy. You're sort of, the fun of the show is the running commentary that you have with your friends.
Well, it's interesting. I would consider RuPaul's Drag Race still one of my favorite reality shows of all time. And I need to watch it with friends because it is about we're screaming alongside it and commenting on what's happening as it's going on. Like some TV is like meant to be static. Like we're going to watch this like seminarians, like Mad Men or something. Yeah. Whereas this, like I'm specific, like the shows like this, like you do want the commentary because it's a rowdy show. Like you're not meant to sit there in silence and sort of just absorb it. You know, it's not really a cerebral experience.
Exactly. And so I think that the people who I've like said, oh, you got to watch Love Island, and they just sit at home and they watch it. It's like, they're like, it's fine. And they might get caught up in some of like the storylines that happen. But like, if you just sit with a group of people and watch it, like the show kind of blooms. And then once you have that experience, then you can actually watch it alone more easily because you sort of will then be texting your friends all the way through. So it's like a very social show to watch and to experience. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love it. Also, another reason why I really love Love Island is I think it's a very sophisticated show.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's sophisticated in its production. Yeah. In the way it's executed. I, as you have been as well, I have always been a huge Big Brother fan. Yeah. You know, watched it for 25 years. This is the year that I stopped. I stopped watching it this year.
I have to say I fell off myself. I think the characters aren't there for me. Sometimes you realize you're getting like the same drama you've gotten from previous seasons.
It's the same cast. There's always some wacky girl in a crazy hat. There's always some guy with a mustache. You know, it's always the same thing. But there's the slide whistles. There's the sound effects. There's the obviously scripted diary rooms. There's the people screaming at the camera like, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm trying to hang on to this hot dog and I'm about to fall off. And you're like, oh my God, it's like gives you a headache. Yeah. And when you watch Love Island is actually a very similar show. It's a surveillance-based show where they have cameras everywhere and everything is captured. And what I love about Love Island is that they have trust in their subjects, that the people that they cast are interesting enough that they don't have to add all these bells and whistles to make it compelling.
Wow, that does feel like an impossibility on Big Brother, something they would never allow to happen.
Yeah, and I actually think Big Brother would be so much better if they sort of stripped away all the stuff that they add into it to try to hype it up, because the show is inherently very fascinating and interesting. And if they just said, look, there are interesting people on this show and we believe that they're interesting, and if we just let them talk, the audience will be into it. Because like the best parts of Big Brother is when they're strategizing and discussing things or shading each other, right?
And so much of the show, by the way, is structured like a Japanese game show where they want it to seem extreme at all times.
Yeah, and they have these challenges that go on for like 30 minutes of airtime. Like if you have a 1 hour show and like you're spending 30 minutes of it watching people get like slop poured on them, or like not actual slop actually means something else on Big Brother. But if they have like slime and powder being busted in their face, it's kind of like, am I watching Nickelodeon right now? I don't need to watch this. Whereas Love Island definitely has some gross out challenges, but you will sit there for an hour and just watch people talk. And I think that's actually kind of revolutionary. And I think it's really bold of them. And it makes it harder for me to go to Big Brother and watch another surveillance show with all this silliness in my face.
It's like you're saying Love Island is like a Nicole Holofcener film. Like I just want to absorb the dynamics.
Yes.
Take in the character histories.
I need Catherine.
It's about
Catherine
social
Keener.
norms. Catherine Keener, please be on Love Island.
Love Island is quietly the Catherine Keener of reality TV shows. You just wouldn't know it.
Well, now you've put it in my language. Thank God.
That's all I had to do.
Yeah. But the recent U.S. season just concluded. And Andy Cohen co-hosted the reunion.
Yes, he did. So Andy was on for this season's reunion. Last season was just Ariana, which was great. But I really like that Andy was on for this season because he just has so much experience with all these reunion shows. Andy's been doing the reunion thing a long time, and he's become really good at it. And he's like pretty quick with where he needs to follow up questions, where he has to press harder. And I think that he was sort of like a mentor to Ariana. Like Ariana was technically the main host, but like Andy was sort of there to support and
The way he holds those cards and sit there, it's giving Chuck Woolery on Love Connection.
Yes.
Just like the lean back and the like, tell me how that date went.
I'm sure that's a huge compliment to Andy Cohen because he hosted the new Love Connection
on
Fox.
Yes, and he's also not a horrid Republican.
And that too.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Chuck
may
Woolery.
he rest. We're both game show fans. We know he did good work, but not that good of work.
Yeah, there was a limit to it. But Andy, what's great about Andy is when he gets angry at someone, he gets this evil smile. And at one point on the reunion, Andy was asking Huda about who she's been dating since the show wrapped. And she goes, I'm so sorry. I actually can't talk about that. And he's like, why not? He's like, well, legally, I'm not allowed. He's like, legally? She goes, Netflix, they won't allow me. And Andy got this look of like, he went from being a host to I'm a part of a network, TV network.
Yeah.
I'm a former network executive and I'm here hosting a show and I have been brought out here to this reunion to talk to you twits. You better answer my question. And he literally goes, well, tell Netflix that Love Island was the #1 streamed show of the summer. And I was like, wow, love that.
Wow, full Faye Dunaway and network.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
By the way, put Andy in a long beige pencil skirt. I'm sure it would look amazing.
Put Faye Dunaway as one of the hosts of these reunions, and that would be amazing.
Oh, my God.
All of her questions would be like, now, did you see me in Chinatown? I was genius in that.
Don Juan DeMarco, I was with the wonderful Johnny Depp.
Do you know I was just talking about that movie last week?
But what a bizarro 90s movie that's totally forgotten.
It's I believe it's the hottest Johnny Depp has ever looked.
Oh, good question. I kind of liked him in, is that movie called Secret Window?
Yeah,
it's way after that. Yeah.
That sounds like a young adult novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Okay, anyway, we can make more Faye Dunaway comments as the episode goes
Absolutely.
on. Let's preview where we're headed today. As much as I would like to just stay on Love Island, on today's show, we are going to be talking about eventually the oldest albums we're still spinning. And the reason we're doing this is it's the 50th anniversary of Patti Smith's Horses. I remember where I was when I bought that album, actually. But we're just going to go into our discographies, our CD booklets.
Love it.
And see what the oldest thing we still play on a regular basis is and why. We'll also talk about, I think, the buzziest show occurring right now, at least among my friends, Alien Earth. You already brought up slime. And this is the most slime for, like, here's the Kids' Choice Awards, here's Alien Earth in terms of slime forwardness.
I was gonna say that Love Island represents like the final stage of the Alien Earth conquest.
Yeah.
It's like the xenomorphs eventually become the Love Island contestants.
Yeah, I was just reminded of the Nick Takes Over Your School sweepstakes, where not only would you get slimed, your parents would, and your teachers.
I always hated the sliming. I have to tell you something.
It's vile.
Like, I did not like getting dirty as a child. If I like seeing that green slime on TV, I was like, I want no part of that.
Wow, you're like
none.
You were a kid waiting for HGTV to be invented. Just let me sit there. Yes.
Keep your slime.
And then, of course, we will interview the fabulous Matt Smith, who you know from, everything. He was the 11th Doctor Who, House of the Dragon. He's going to be in the Star Wars universe, and he's in the new Darren Aronofsky movie Caught Stealing with Austin Butler, whom I loved in the movie Eddington, a movie that was so unpleasant.
I didn't even hear about Eddington.
Yeah, Ari Aster's latest joint.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Hereditary still is best. Anyway, so that's our episode today. We'll be right back with more Keep It. Faithful Keep It listeners know that I like to live in the wonder years of the past, but sometimes the culture requires me to come down to Earth, specifically Alien Earth. After over 40 years, the Alien franchise has finally broken into TV, and the series seems to be all everyone's talking about. Now, Ben, Sigourney Weaver does not appear in the series. Moment of silence.
Yes.
And yet we decided to discuss this show, which, and by the way, neither of us is sci-fi oriented.
No, I'm not. I would not say I have a sci-fi orientation. I like to visit once in a while. And I also just want to say this has nothing to do with anything, but I feel like it's important to note that one time I was on a flight and Sigourney Weaver was on the flight.
Sorry. Alien Earth has been great. We need to actually be talking about this Earth moment. What happened?
It was
First of all,
Sigourney,
she's
Sigourney
9'4". She's 9'4". I absolutely know she was wearing a trench coat.
She was wearing a sweater. Sorry, it was summer.
Okay.
A sweater in summer though. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting like in an aisle seat in like economy.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those 2-3-2 layouts, you know, of seats, and I was in the inner three. Yeah, and I was there. And I remember I could see into business class. And I remember she was right there, and I thought, my goodness, that is Sigourney Weaver. And she just looked amazing. And she was like not made up or anything, obviously, because it's Sigourney Weaver. She doesn't have to do those things.
Right.
And I just
nor does she have to take any role. She'll go 5 years. She's like, I don't care.
And I just remember her like adjusting her little pillow And I just remember thinking, this is a dream come true. I am basically trapped in a tin can with Sigourney Weaver now.
I'm sure the Yale drama prestige was just like leaking off her. You know, she's like thinking about Christopher Durang and like Meryl took too many of my roles and all that.
Yeah, it was. I felt like New Haven coursing through the plane.
That's exactly right.
All the Elis.
But I will say, as much as I enjoyed lots about this show, it's again genre-wise not something I care about. I did feel initially it needs a Sigourney Weaver. I felt like, which by the way, I don't know if you know this about her in the Alien movies. Tons and tons of people tried out for the Ellen Ripley role, and she was chosen. Like, I don't know who it was screened for, but audiences picked her because they found her to be a lot like Jane Fonda.
Oh, interesting.
She does have the same sort of can-do grit, like very action-oriented, and yet not, and yet also human. Yes.
Steely. It's funny. It is so funny because I always see Sigourney as one of our great waspy actresses, and it's funny how like steely waspiness can also be like channeled into action very effectively. Yeah, you know. And I agree. We do need Sigourney. I think honestly, the show needs a lot of things. I'm not gonna lie. I was not a huge fan of Alien Earth. Admittedly, not my wheelhouse, but like it definitely needs like I think a strong female lead, and I just am not sure that this child in a robot synthetic body is giving me like the strident hero that we need or want right now.
On this show there are 3 different types of beings, and one of them is this hybridized person where it's like a child's brain in a adult body, so you're getting a lot of accidental Tom Hanks and Big acting.
It's like, honestly, it's the weirdest choice. I mean, so like you have this show where like it's all the standard alien kind of stuff, but there's this subplot of these children with an extended and tiresome Peter Pan metaphor.
Yeah, the main girl is named Wendy.
But they also like, they take children and they sort of copy and paste their brains into these synthetic bodies, and while they're doing that they're watching Peter Pan on the ceiling, and then they all decide to name themselves after the Lost Boys or the children or whatever it is. And I'm like, it feels to me like there's 2 concepts going on here. It's like we're either going to watch a show about these synths that are these childlike synths that have to do adult things, or we're going to watch about an alien invasion, but like mashing them together is not quite working for me, I have to say.
No, among the things I do like, first of all, it's nice to see the xenomorph again.
I love the xenomorph.
There's something about the xenomorph. First of all, it's like the speed of them and like the way the face, like the zoom ins, they are scary.
But they're sort of sexy.
Yes. Also, and the orthodontia is on fire.
Oh my God, their teeth are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know
full Mentadent.
Yeah. They are pushing down that Mentadent thing, and they look amazing. They are so sleek. They're so cool.
Sleek is right. Yes.
Yeah. Here's my concern about the xenomorph, and this is what I feel ridiculous for even asking this question. What is the xenomorph's motivation?
No.
What the hell is it doing?
It's sort of like my problem with weapons. I'm like, why is this witch here? Why is she just needs to terrorize children? Why?
It's like I don't like the xenomorph is just killing indiscriminately. It doesn't seem to be feeding.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem to be hatching eggs, like or like impregnating, you know, or whatever the process is. It's just killing and killing some more. And I just feel like animals, at least, and I know these are not animals, these are xenomorphs, but animals usually when they kill, it's usually to eat, and then they settle down and nap.
Right.
I'm like, does the xenomorph
you
have
want to
to nap?
see a xenomorph settle down?
I'm like,
you're waiting for the On Golden Pond xenomorph movie.
Is the xenomorph ever gonna nap? I mean, it's constantly killing.
That's true. I guess I'm always so proud of TV for being scary in a way movies can't, because I grew up, you grow up on television thinking it can never go as hard as a movie. And now I'm realizing like there's no reason TV can't go as hard as movies. Yes. Whereas like my version of scary things on TV growing up was like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Where like that meant, oh, that clown sure is loud. So when you get to see something as violent as this, and oh my God, is this show violent?
Yes.
It's like kind of rad. But I will say something that bothers me about this show is it's so cinematically shot. And again, this is the first part of the Alien franchise to be on TV. It's so cinematically shot in a way that reminds me of the movie Aliens, the 86 one. Mm-hmm. That I wish I could watch it in a theater, and I wish it were a movie.
Well, it almost feels like it should be a movie, because honestly, the first 2 episodes of the show, like, I don't want to be as dramatic as saying nothing happens, but like I found nothing happened.
The first episode a struggle to get through.
Like this girl gets grafted into a synthetic body, and then a spaceship crashes into a city called New Siam, and then there's aliens that they have to kill. And then episode 2, they continue to search, and they find eggs. Like that's like all of episode 2 is just searching
with some xenomorph acrobatics, and it gets real Dominic Moceanu. Like I'm pretty sure there were flip flops.
I know, and like a random Louis XIV party happening.
That looked slay. Yes,
I was like, can we just do that show? I would love watch these people.
It looked like the Annie Lennox walking on broken glass video.
100%. I was waiting for what's his face, House MD to walk through.
Yes.
I forget his name.
Gregory Hines.
Gregory Hines. No.
Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. Thank you.
Yes,
I wanted to be like Hugo. It's not right. I felt like it was scary and everything, but also, oh my God, this brother. Can we talk about this brother?
He's annoying.
So in the middle of this, okay, so the main, our Sigourney Weaver, who is Wendy, who
is the daughter of Kyle Chandler, by the way.
The daughter of Kyle Chandler, which is crazy.
Yes. And by the way, Sigourney Weaver, a Nepo baby herself.
Is she?
Yes, she's the daughter of
Dennis Weaver?
Bob Weaver, who's like the head of NBC. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe there was a Dennis Weaver play there, but that wouldn't really make sense.
No.
But maybe Dennis Weaver is related to Sigourney, though. I would like to look that up.
It's possible.
You can't have that many Weavers in show business. But Wendy has a brother in New Siam, and that's where the spaceship crashes. And so then he's like search and rescue, and this brother has to go in and search this spaceship.
He is played by Alex Lowther. I would say he's really good on this show. He's like among the more compelling characters on the show. Yeah. Well,
infuriating also.
Yes. Oh, no, but then I got mad at him too. Yes. Yeah.
He almost gets killed by the xenomorph. It's actually very, very scary. And he actually has a great scene. I thought his one great scene is after he first encounters the xenomorph. He's in an elevator and he's calling for help, and he like can barely even speak, and he's shaking so much. I was like, that felt like real.
Yeah.
This felt like someone who just got attacked. And then he spends the rest of the episode constantly running into the xenomorph, and he just becomes so cavalier about it because he's just like, at one point, he's like in this fancy apartment and he encounters a baseball that's like signed by Reggie Jackson. And he's like looking at the baseball and he's thinking about Reggie Jackson and thinking about his dad and thinking about baseball. I'm like, there's a fucking xenomorph out there. Why are you not running to the elevators and getting out of this building? And instead he's just like wandering around. And I was like, I cannot with this brother.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him anymore.
No. What do you think of the Alien movies, period? Well, do you have a favorite one? Because I much preferred the 79 one. I love the dread of the first one, the like, you've already lost. The aliens already won feeling.
Yeah. So fun fact, I've only seen Alien. And I've had Aliens on to see for like years and years and years. I've never gotten around to it. I love the first Alien. I think it's amazing. I think it's wonderful. It's beautifully shot. I loved the sort of the tribute to it in the pilot. The way the pilot opened for Alien Earth was sort of a visual tribute to the way it looked. And I thought the dread, like you said, that dread, that isolation, the stillness of that movie was so brilliant and so wonderful and evocative. I absolutely love the first Alien.
And also, again, we already brought up Sigourney Weaver, but it's like, it's very also character driven. Like I find that the sci-fi that I actually do care about are things like Arrival. You know, things where it's like, I'm actually following a human journey more than I'm following like lore. Though I think that's just a different brain altogether. Like some people like live for lore, whereas like I literally want this show. I was like, how can we turn this into the movie in the bedroom? Can it just be a confrontation at a kitchen counter somehow? I
love what they call it, like adult sci-fi or mature sci-fi, like a Gattaca.
Yeah,
that's just like
Gattaca. I think is the best looking movie of the 1990s. It is a shockingly gorgeous movie.
Yes, it's beautiful. I often think about with the original Alien, I always imagine what it must have been like for audiences in 1979 to watch that, because it's such a scary movie. Like it is so like bone-chillingly scary, and I'm wondering like what sort of exposure audiences in 1979 had to that kind of movie.
Yeah,
and how I feel like it must have just wrecked so many people.
And also the beginning of like something being like gross and jumping out at you, it had like a real speed to it, and yet also, and like again, like you already lost, like there's no like fight back that is possible.
And Aliens never looked like that. I feel like Aliens, my awareness of Aliens in cinema was always like they were sort of silly looking, you know, from like those 1950s
and
movies.
fuzzy and green, yeah.
Right. And like I just don't remember what other alien movies were in the 70s necessarily, but like it sort of strikes me that this was probably the first time we saw a real like sleek, scary, gooey alien.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I just have to imagine people saw this movie and thought, oh, it'll be just like a space movie, and they were like, holy shit, I'm crapping my pants right now.
Right. And also it's so epic too, like the music, like the beyond just the look of it, like you feel like you're really delivered to another kind of like mindset altogether. I want to bring up Kyle Chandler's daughter, who's the protagonist, Sydney Chandler. I think is pretty good. I mean, again, we don't have a powerful dynamic force in this show yet, but this is a good time to ask, do you have favorite Nepo babies, period, who are operating at this very moment?
That's a great question. I don't know if I have a favorite Nepo baby. I just feel like I'm always amused every time I run into them. I don't know. What's your favorite Nepo baby that's happening
I continue to really support the work of Dakota Johnson.
Just...
I didn't like Materialist, and I loved her in it.
Okay.
And I feel like she's usually, her thing is like, some people are more important as vibe than actor, and I feel like she has the best of that vibe.
She is very vibey. You know, there's a parallel, I think, between like the original Alien and Nepo babies. Like the moment when Ian Holm is revealed, Ash is revealed to be like a synth.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh my god, I feel like that's how I feel every time I find that someone's a Nepo baby.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh my god, like it's like turns out no, they take the head off and look inside and like, oh my god, there's celebrity DNA in here.
Right. Oh, girl on the pit. I thought I related to you. No, Bryan Cranston's your father. Yeah.
Yes, everyone. It's like, it's shocking how many Nepo babies are around. But you know what? I think it's like fun. I think it's a fun detail whenever you find out that someone's a Nepo baby.
Well, I also just kind of love them because I feel like the thing that like people who are new to fame, who aren't Nepo babies, the thing they're trying to protect about being famous, Nepo babies don't care about. They're like they can take and leave the really like artificial parts of this, and so they'll be famous and then be curt and honest to your face. Like Jane Fonda is not going to be like overly self-deprecating for you,
right?
You know what I mean? Like Gwyneth Paltrow is not going to sit there and be like, it's important that you like me. In fact, she's leaned so hard in the direction of, she's like, I'm going to make my risotto and it's going to cost $1 million.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, like just that's the way it is and that's the way I am thing. Miley Cyrus is sort of similar. So I sort of honor them as a species, actually.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I like really cannot think of any Nepo baby right now. Like the Nepo baby
Angelica
part of my
Houston,
brain.
one of my favorites. Yes.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I mean, I love when a Nepo baby just comes into their own. You just stop thinking of them as a Nepo baby. You think of them as just like the next generation of stardom.
Sure.
You know?
Liza Minnelli, etc. Yes.
Exactly. But like Angelica Houston is...
If I ran into her on the street, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be the same.
I was going to ask you, have you ever been able to interview her?
Yes, I did. In she was in the movie 50-50 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I said at the time, I was like, you beat Oprah Winfrey for an Academy Award, 1985 Best Supporting Actress. She was in Prizzi's Honor. Oprah was, of course, in The Color Purple. And she goes, yeah, you know, she's never had me on her show. And she goes, it just comes to show that some people are a little bit petty. Even Oprah. She that's what I'm talking about. Just like, you are deeply honest.
Just will say it.
Yes.
You know, one of my
though I'll say it, maybe Oprah deserved that Oscar. I love her in Prizzi's Honor, though. I do.
I have to say, one of my favorite surprising Angelica Houston roles is when she's revealed to be the beautiful queen in no, why am I blanking on the Epcot ride?
Oh, Captain EO. Yes,
Captain EO.
Yes.
When I saw Captain EO, they like brought it back, and I had never seen it before.
It's shocking.
And there's this whole thing, this evil witch, and Michael
Jackson Disney ride,
directed by Francis Ford Coppola,
right?
And
who had an interesting 1980s.
Yeah, and then like this like evil witch is tormenting Michael Jackson, and he like transforms her into this beauty, and it's like, who is it? It's Angelica Houston.
Fuck,
I was
yes.
like, what? Yes. It was so good.
Well, Francis Ford Coppola is also one of those people who's like, he's not gay at all. And yet also like, man, is Matt Dillon gorgeous in Rumblefish. And, you know, like there's some like aesthetic things going, like they're hot men in The Godfather, whatever. You know?
This does not make me a Nepo, talk about a Nepo creator as Francis Ford Coppola, but you know, he grew up across the street from my mom and she used to wait at the bus stop with him.
Wow.
And she said that he was like very kind And always, I think he did. What did my mom say? They sort of had rosy cheeks. And I don't remember what it was. I wish I had better details on this.
Somebody somewhere knew Francis Ford Coppola.
I felt like there was a story there. And as I started to say it, I realized there's not much more to it than my mom would wait at the bus stop with Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay, well,
but, I guess that's about it.
Should we just talk about other sci-fi? What does it take for you to be invested in a sci-fi show?
I think it like what you said, you have to have just characters, and I think you need to have like you need I think for a TV show you need to have lots of interesting storylines going on.
Yeah.
And I think that this one, unfortunately for me, does not have a lot of interesting storylines going on.
Yeah, I'm sort of waiting for the jump scares, really, so that something happens. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hate horror, and I get jump scared by everything. So I was like jumping every 2 seconds on this slimy show. Oh my goodness, the sound. By the way, the sound design deserves an Emmy because it is nonstop, creepy, crawly, gooey sounds, like it's surrounding you. But my concern is that, like, yes, obviously we have stakes here. There's an alien invasion that's about to happen, but there's not a lot of other storylines, and like I'm not compelled, I'm not intrigued by really anything else that's happening. There's this cyborg that's like dead set on delivering these aliens to like the rival corporation, but I'm like, I don't know if I really care.
Yeah, right.
I don't care if his cargo makes it.
Well, again, it's just like I like it enough for a movie. It's just I can't imagine moving through. And I also think in general something that's happening right now with TV dramas is we don't have many compelling drama characters right now. I feel like following the end of like Succession, and even Shogun, let alone Breaking Bad or Mad Men or shows like that. Like, I don't know that we're really talking about any particular dramatic character in general. And like, those are the people I'm most invested in on TV.
Yeah, I actually, believe it or not, my hot take may be that I think the show would have been better off spending a lot of time doing more character development in that first episode or even the second. Like, maybe hold off on the aliens a little bit. I know they have to lean into the alien stuff, but they dive so quickly into the action and so quickly into this, like the grossness of it all and the attack, all the attacking things, that I think we do miss out on some valuable dialogue or character building that makes us care about any of these storylines.
I would love one moment of spicy, interesting, funny dialogue. We definitely do not have that yet.
We need to know more about Dame Sylvia, by the way.
Yes.
I feel like
yes,
she is like the resident like lady who always has her hair up, and she has sort of
S.C. Davis is that actress. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she may be Australian, maybe British. There's sort of like a foreign
they're always mysterious to me. Yeah.
And you feel like there's more there, and I just feel like she's especially a way in for us gays, and I just would like more, because there's this boy Cavalier is the name of the guy who runs the corporation that I guess we're more rooting for. Prodigy versus the Wayland Utah.
I know the corporate angle on this is also very like tough to keep straight. By the way, we should say Timothy Olyphant is on this show, and I'm confounded. He has shock blonde hair, and it's like it's almost queer villain coded. Like it's that like Vincent Price thing of like I'm kind of normal except I'm really good at gardening. That like weird gay thing.
A little Malcolm McDowell-y.
That is exactly who it's like. Malcolm McDowell.
With a touch of R.I.P. Terrence Stamp.
Yes. Oh, one of the great actors, by the way. Yes. I love Terrence. If you haven't seen The Collector, he's so good in that.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I actually really am enjoying Timothy Olyphant in this. He seems like he's having fun being a little sort of arch and a little silly as this, like, I don't know, slightly fey, synthetic.
And also, I guess, jacked. He's just like a thin, ropey man.
Yeah.
I think of him as the guy from Justified, where he became everybody's dad's favorite actor. And now he's doing this role that is like not your dad's favorite.
No, but he's also reassuring when he's on camera, because he's not going to get, like, nothing's going to pop out and attack him because he's a robot. And so, like, the aliens don't care about the robots. So I'm like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I can breathe in this scene.
Yes, yeah.
And job security.
But when I look at Timothy Olyphant, I really still see Killer from Scream 2.
Oh yeah.
I don't think of, like, if I saw Courtney Cox in something, I wouldn't be thinking about Scream. Him, I can't explain it. That was the perfect role for him, because he's so like a normal looking guy who, when he takes a turn and it turns out he's a killer, I believe it.
Was he operating with Laurie Metcalf?
He was, as we all would love
Which was,
to.
honestly, the thing that I loved the most about that movie was like when I saw Laurie Metcalf in that movie, I was like, she is the killer. There's no reason for Laurie Metcalf to be in Scream unless she's the killer.
With her shock, like light gray suit.
She was like was she a nurse or something?
No, she was posing as a reporter,
Right.
and then it turned out she was Billy Loomis's mother. Yes, yes. That was also the beginning of the end for Scream, because I'm so sorry. She did not literally carve up all those fucking bodies. In the first movie, you can picture Stu and
100%
Billy actually doing it. They're crazy, you know.
Yeah, but she's not doing this.
She's too domestic. I'm sorry. I've seen Lady Bird.
I know.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
Yes, lovely movie. Okay, so that was our deeply in-depth discussion of Alien Earth.
Alien Earth.
Sigourney, come back to us.
Please.
Yes.
Please bring her back.
We'll be right back with Matt Smith. But before that, I'd like to set a scene for you. Money, murder, betrayal, revenge. This is the unbelievable, true story of the United Mine Workers of America and the son who took on a dangerous union boss to avenge his family's murder. In the newest season of Shadow Kingdom, Cole Survivor host Niccolo Minoni digs into the rise and fall of the United Mine Workers of America under Tony Boyle, once the most powerful and corrupt labor leader in the country. At the height of America's coal wars, it's a political thriller wrapped in a courtroom drama, and every detail is real. The first 2 episodes are out now. Listen on the Shadow Kingdom feed wherever you get your podcasts, or better yet, Friends of the Pod subscribers can listen to the full season of it right now. Join Friends of the Pod at crooked.com/friends. Also, do you want all of your friends and neighbors to know you begin every day screaming, "Wake up, sheeple," about the Trump administration's worst-kept secret? That you're seeing through all of this with your third eye and also your regular eyes. Boy, do we have the doorstep accessory for you. Release the Epstein Files doormats, I said that, are available for pre-order now in the Crooked store. You can now make sure no one steps foot in your home without a reminder of the thing Trump wants us to forget. Shop now at crooked.com/store. All right, when we're back, we're joined by Matt Smith. From the creator of BoJack Horseman comes a new comedy that blends humor and heartbreak. Long story short, it's all about family and all the ups and downs that come with it. It brings the same sharp, heartfelt storytelling that will hit a little too close to home. If you've ever had a family or tried to escape one, this show is for you. Watch Long Story Short, streaming now only on Netflix. Keep It is brought to you by Koyuchi. I am so excited to tell you about our sponsor, Koyuchi. Koyuchi is in a league of its own when it comes to bedding, bath, and home products. And their organic crinkled percale sheet set is the key to a cooler, healthier sleep year-round. I care a lot about my diet and my skincare routine. Doesn't it show? Take a moment. But only recently have I thought about how important what I sleep on is to my health and to my wellness. Bedding improves everything. You remember good bedding. I would honestly say that your entire stay at a hotel depends, the goodness of it, on whether the bedding slayed. There are lots of choices for organic bedding out there, but Koyuchi stands above the rest because of their 35-year heritage, their extraordinary quality, and their commitment to ethical production. And how does 35 years of experience help me trust this brand? You can feel the 35 years of research. I can picture these scientists in the lab being like, it's not cozy enough. It's not gorgeous enough. And now it is. Invest in your health and the best sleep of your life. The organic crinkled percale sheets are naturally cooling for a restful sleep and certified to be free of toxins and harmful chemicals that could seep into your skin. You can sleep well and safely with Koyuchi. Koyuchi is luxury that you can feel good about, whether it's bedding or bath towels, table linens, crib sheets, or spa robes. All of Koyuchi's products are of the absolute highest quality, made with natural fibers, low-impact dyes, and certified fair trade. Koyuchi looks great, feels amazing, and is good for your health and the planet. If you want healthy, handcrafted luxury bedding that lasts a lifetime, you need Koyuchi. Get 15% off, do it now, when you visit koyuchi.com/keepit. That's koyuchi.com/keepit to get 15% off, koyuchi.com/keepit. This week's guest is the face of several fandoms, maybe the most serious fandoms, from Doctor Who to Game of Thrones to Star Wars come 2027, but he also has a dramatic side, best seen in projects like The Crown, Last Night in Soho, and Darren Aronofsky's upcoming crime thriller, Caught Stealing. Today he's here to talk about it all, so please welcome to Keep It, Matt Smith.
Hello.
Man, you really are, you all you have is competing fandoms. It feels like people are just beating down your door to tell you they love your work and also don't fuck up this thing for me that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah, I mean, I wish. Although when I got Doctor Who, I do remember, like, I was walking down the street once and someone was like, just shouted at me apropos of nothing. I also hadn't even filmed a scene yet either. And they just went, "Don't break Doctor Who."
Is that like, I mean, when you get inserted into a franchise, like iconic franchises, like, do you feel like, is there like so much pressure on your shoulders, or you just be like, okay, cool, I'm just going to come in here and do my thing?
Oh no, I think there's always a pressure. I mean, especially with that show, because you're like, I mean, it's like it's woven into the fabric of the culture of the country in a way, and everyone,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, particularly in England. Although I have to say, there is a developing fan base for that show in America, certainly, or there has been over, you know, over the last 10 years or so. But there's an inherent pressure, particularly with that, and I suppose also with House of the Dragon. But you know, the truth is that you can only ever do it your way. You know, you can't. I mean, the worst thing you could do is try and imitate. And you know, in the case of House of the Dragon, it was, I think, Game of Thrones was its own unique sort of cultural phenomenon of the time. You know, it was a juggernaut in its time when TV was sort of the trend of the way we watched it and the way it was made and stuff was developing and changing, and it was sort of in the nexus of that, really. So yeah, it was its own thing. So you just got to do it as best you can your own way. You boys know that, though.
We're doing our best, damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my dad used to say to you. Just do your bloody best.
Yeah, exactly. You
Now,
have to.
in this new movie, Caught Stealing, first of all, you are fabulous in it. You have also a deeply distinct look in it, this punk look with a full mohawk, which, by the way, is like a dead word. I've said the word faux hawk so many times in the past 20 years. It feels like mohawks don't exist anymore, but they do. And you have one in this movie. You look fantastic. First of all, just talk about working on this movie in general with Darren Aronofsky and Austin Butler, who is great in this. This is a very violent but extremely entertaining taut thriller.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, he's one of those directors that when you get the sort of inbox, whereas what's the movie? Okay, it's Thriller in New York. Who's directing it? Darren Aronofsky. You're like, yes. I don't really need to know what it is. It's just that's just an immediate yes. And so it was one of those parts that I really wanted to go after and sort of actively, you know, I chased down in a way, and I was like, right, I really want to get this. And you know, I had like 4 auditions for it. But he is, you know, I think when you see the film. I mean, firstly, I read it. I was like, well, it's quite a weird film for Darren to direct because his films tend to have a different sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, like psychological menace to them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And this is a real fun yarn in a way. And, but he's just, I mean, you can see he's just a real master of the form, actually. And yeah, it was a joy. It's been one of my best experiences on a film set, I have to say. And in no small part, thanks to Austin, who is just a delightful man. He's got great humility. He works really hard. He's really brilliant. I mean, I think you can tell when you watch the movie, he just looks and feels like a bona fide movie star. He's got that thing, really, that you either sort of have or you don't have. And he most certainly does have that movie star quality, I think. And he's great in it. And, you know, there's a casual ease that he brings to it, which is actually really, really hard to do. And I was just really impressed with him. As a person as well. He's a really nice, I mean, have you met him?
I have not, no.
No, never met him.
He's a really nice bloke.
That I believe. You know, he's amazing in the movie, and I was just reading that he like actually slept in the apartment to like get used to actually living in it and stuff.
Really?
How immersive an actor are you? Will you do kind of like out of the box things in order to feel like you belong on a set you're at or whatever?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he looked really fucking tired when I saw him the next morning after that. I was like, dude, that didn't, because it's a freezing cold in a studio. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it depends on the form of the piece and on the director and on the part. I mean, what was really good about this is like so much of a lot of that work is sort of done for you when you're changing your image really drastically. And there was something really liberating about that. I was quite nervous to do it, I have to confess, but yeah, there was something that sort of, because it provides you with an immediate aesthetic change and so therefore you sort of work from the outside in a little bit. It was cool. It was yeah, but I'm up for diving deep when it's the right thing, for sure.
I have a question about your past as an actor, because I was reading about you. I was reading up on you, and I was reading your Wikipedia, and it said that you were originally an athlete, and then you got injured, and then you had either a drama teacher or someone who got you into acting without your consent. Is that how
Kind
does that
of, yeah.
happen?
But I love how Wikipedia, like, well done, Wikipedia. I know it's, well, it was like, so he was convinced I was good at acting, and I was a bit like, well, I was a footballer. I was like, I don't want to do acting, man. That's a bit like, I don't know. It just felt a bit sort of like not in my wheelhouse, really. And I was, yeah. And then and then he put me in this drama festival, and I didn't turn up. And then he did it again, and then over the summer he phoned my mum and was like, "Look, I'm going to cast him in a play. Please, can you encourage him to do it?" And then I did it, and I turned out I quite liked it, and actually I've got him to thank. I'm still really close to him. He's called Mr. Hardingham, and I think in life you're really lucky if you get one teacher who can really affect it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Have you guys ever, like, did you have teachers that sort of changed the your attitude to something in a big way when you were growing up?
Oh, totally.
Oh God,
Yeah.
no! I definitely have the English teacher who like encouraged me to like. I was obsessed with Gilda Radner, and she was like, "Me too." Yeah, when you're gay, it's different. You need mentors in a different way.
Yeah, they find us. They send us into like art programs and stuff like that. And all that good stuff.
Good.
But were you doing like little school plays or something at the point? Like how did this teacher say like, oh, this guy is good at acting out of nowhere?
Well, I was doing it for what we call GCSE, which is like your high school. It was like a subject at school. It was my art subject, so I did it once a week in class. But I was just like, I was just muddling through it. Do you know what I mean? But I always knew I quite liked it. But it felt like quite a big left turn to go from being because football was my life really, and to go from that to suddenly being an actor, it was a bit like. It's not that I don't know. It just felt like an odd shoe to wear, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But secretly, I really liked it. I think I was just probably afraid to admit that I liked it so much.
Speaking of the bold aesthetic choice of your character in this movie, have you ever like been put into costume or makeup or something for a role, and seeing yourself in it, you saw something you didn't expect, and it actually throws off your game when you're about to act the role?
Because you don't like the way you look, or you don't, or
it's just unexpected, or it changes what you think of this character.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but ultimately, it's like that's kind of the fun bit, really, is changing the image, is feeling all that, So, and look, I think sometimes, particularly when you watch yourself and you're getting older, certainly when you look back, I mean, I don't really watch stuff, to be honest, and if I do, if it comes on or something, because it's like looking back at a different person in a way. Especially like I look back on Doctor Who and stuff. I was 26. You go, God, I've just aged savagely, and it's like,
welcome to the club.
Yeah, no, well, I know it's no fun, is it? And but no, I mean, no, but I can't say that it's sort of thrown me in a negative way because I quite like all that image stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a tough leap to make on this because it was so. I mean, I had lime green and red hair. Because obviously, I'm shooting, but I've got to live with it as well.
Did you grow your hair out for that, or was it like, did they add stuff to build out the mohawk?
So they put a piece in the middle of it, but it's all my hair.
Wow.
And then they build it up kind of together with this kind of structured bit in the middle. But then they had to, obviously, because it was lime green and red, so my hair has to go that color because my hair is covering the sort of structured bit.
Right.
And yeah, man. And then I just had to get my hair braided in New York every time I was like going out, because otherwise I looked like a fucking lunatic.
What was compare that to the hair you have in House of the Dragon? Is it like what was the easier hair piece to deal with?
The mohawk is easier because in House of the Dragon I have to wear a bald cap.
Oh,
so they have to cover your hair because my hair's dark, you see. So they have to cover this because it's blonde, so it doesn't show through. So that adds another like 45 minutes. And then it's like, that wig's just like, oh yeah, that's a tough one, that. Whereas this, it was like, it was my own hair, do you know what I mean? And I was done in like half an hour. There was just a lot of glue. I had to stay away from the fire. I'd have fucking taken off if I'd have caught a light. There was so much glue in my hair because that's what punks used to do. They used to lie down and then like glue their hair and iron it.
Iron it.
They used to iron their hair, their glued hair, so it stayed I mean, it's when you think about it,
It's
don't try that
wild.
at home. It's wild, isn't
Big
it?
flammability quotient.
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. And
concerned.
also just terrible for your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also just a pain in the ass to lie down and iron your hair, like literally
know.
iron your hair.
Eye in your hair, exactly. And like all of that stuff it comes at a cost because you can't sleep on it. You can only sleep on your side or rest because you'll mess the mohawk up. It's quite the commitment, I have to say.
I was watching old Doctor Who recently, and I mean, I think it's a one of a kind show in a way where I feel like after you do it, do you find that you miss getting to do certain things that are only specific to that show? Like the combination of like sci-fi, but like drollness, but like it combines so many like kind of fun areas that I don't think other shows ever replicate.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I mean, Stephen Moffat said to me, the writer, he was like, because I was leaving, he was like, look, don't leave too soon because you'll regret it, and it's the most wonderful part. And he was right in a way, because what's like amazing about it is like every 2 or 3 weeks, like you're in a completely different world because they shoot the episodes quite quickly. And so every month you're like 1 minute you're in the future, and then you're in Victorian England, and there's all these guest artists coming in, and then you're on a dystopian planet, and then you're just in Britain, but there's some sort of alien invasion, and there's like something about that that's so thrilling. And then I mean also just as a part, it's such a extraordinary thing that like, but I mean really just being that close to this wonderful idea of time travel is brilliant. And yeah, I just love that show. It's great, and long may it continue.
How do you feel about now with House of the Dragon, now that you're being sort of exposed to a very large American audience? Like, what's that experience been like for you? Especially like a big, like dedicated Game of Thrones audience too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been good, man. I mean, it's nice to be in a show that has like that people watch actually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether or not people think it's a success or it's this or it's that is another question. But it certainly has a broad appeal, and I think there's something cool about that, man. Yeah, and means I get to come to New York a lot, which I love. Where are you guys?
We're both in LA.
We're in Los Angeles,
heart of LA.
Yeah.
If such a thing exists. Yes. Yes.
But don't you? But you work on isn't Fallon New York?
I'm Kimmel. I work here in LA.
Ah, you work with Kimmel. Ah,
Yes.
okay. Sorry. Cool.
Slightly stonier demographic. Yes. Stonery demographic. Yes.
And I'm just along for the ride.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, precisely.
Of course, I have to ask about The Crown quickly. I think the Crown, like Mad Men, I feel like there's so much attention to not just historical detail, but like to the nth degree. Like there must be somebody on set, like a historian, be like, "Oh, and you're not going to mess this up." Like,
yeah, yeah.
I was wondering what kind of pressure was there on an episode basis to just get everything right from a continuity standpoint, from a historical standpoint, and does any other filming experience compare to that?
I mean, there's a guy. He was really nice actually, and he was a royal. Like he worked for the royal house for like 40 years or something. And so he would, if you're sat at dinner or if you're entering a room or whatever it might be, who would enter first, who would sit down first, obviously the order of what you eat, where you would place your hand, if, all this mad kind of etiquette that does exist. It's a mad thing. It's steeped, that they're still really steeped in a lot of those kind of sort of vaguely archaic traditions, really. But yeah, he was really great and really detailed, and he was a nice man. And also, he just had a lot of, I just asked him about different people in the royal house. Like they all loved Philip. All of the staff absolutely loved him.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I think he was a real sort of team player, man of the people with the house. And then he'd talk about other members of the family that maybe they weren't so keen on, or it was really fascinating.
Wow. I mean, I guess also with The Crown and with House of the Dragon, I feel like did you have to do an immense amount of like research for both of those, because you do have like lots of eyes on you about like, wait a second, the Daemon Targaryen's not supposed to know about this like relic that came from like the dragon, whatever, like, and also with
the
those
actual history of the Crown. Yeah.
And is that arduous or is it exciting?
No, it's good because you get to be a little bit of a historian. It's like I would never have, researched Philip as much as I did, and therefore by proxy you end up sort of looking in to the culture of Britain. I mean, I think a lot of people watch that show and go, actually, I found it quite educational about Britain in, through the sort of late 40s onwards, really. I mean, look, with House of the Dragon, obviously there is a book and there is a sort of reference, but there's slightly more latitude because, you know, we're flying around on dragons, man. I mean, how sort of how much logic can you stick to?
Here's my question about Caught Stealing. How much room do you actually get to sort of play on set? It's such a taut thriller. I feel like, do you get to make any on the spur of the moment decisions, or is it choreographed to the nth, everything you do?
Oh no, there was a lot of play. He let me improvise loads.
Really? Oh, that's so surprising. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Like a lot of my stuff that's in the movie is improvised in the moment. Like that line, "Welcome to Narnia," made up on the spot. There's so many of those little things. Yeah, yeah. And because Darren's got the confidence as a filmmaker to let that happen. He's got complete. He knows exactly what the story is. You've really got to bring your A game with him, and he's so in charge of the day, of every facet of the day, and of the performance. And if it's off by any degree, he's on you, and he's engineering it so you're back on the right path. But yeah, I was really grateful. It's one of the happiest experiences I've ever had on a film set.
It's crazy that you get to actually insert your, I guess, sort of real personality in there, because you have a sort of just casually funny, droll energy. How often do you actually feel you get to do that?
Well, I think everything in a way is like, with acting is, I don't know, really. It's hard to explain, but it's like everything is a sort of return to yourself in a way, because you are the filter, you are the lens. So it's all sort of you. But, if you're playing Charles Manson or Patrick Bateman, or, I'm doing a project next about a guy called Buddy Monroe, who's a fucking lunatic. And it's not that, that you're pretending ultimately to be someone else. That's what you go and do. That's the joy of it. But I don't know. It's a funny one. It's hard to explain, really, but it's all through your own lens in a way. It's because, I guess one person's Hamlet is different to another person's Hamlet, because one person's history and emotional makeup is their own, and one person's isn't. So it's like, yeah, it's you're always kind of returning to yourself as a reference, I think, if that makes sense. Sound like a sort of wanky actor, but.
No, you were fabulous in the movie. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to say, by the way, I so regret that I did not get to see you in Enemy of the People last year. We had Jeremy Strong do it here. And yeah. I know you were absolutely fabulous in that. I love that play too.
Yeah, it's a great play. I mean, that was with a director called Thomas Ostermeyer, who's got a theatre company in Berlin called the Schaubühne, and he's someone I'd wanted to work with. You should Google his trailer when you go now. He did a Richard III, in her famous Richard III, and you'll see how fucking mad and brilliant he is. Google Thomas Ostermeyer, Richard III, and there's a trailer for it, and there's this wonderful German actor, and he's worked with Thomas for years, and he's like on a microphone. He's a really inventive director, and so I was thrilled I got to work with him, because he was, on my list of people that I'd been chasing down, as actors do.
I will look that up, because I deeply wanted to see that. I want to recommend Caught Stealing. Again, it is a deep thrill. I mean, I was shocked several times. You will literally hold on to your seat. So just be prepared, everybody.
Thanks so much for having me on, guys. It's nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you too.
Fabulous to have you here. And we'll be back with more Keep It. Last week, Patti Smith announced a reissue of her seminal album Horses in honor of its 50th anniversary. And Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album also hit its 50th this summer, which got me and Ben thinking about the albums we'll never stop spinning, of which there are several. So we're going to pick some of those here. But Ben, before we get into our picks, did you notice any through lines in the albums that stick with you? I'm guessing female vocalists, but I could be wrong.
You know what? I chose three.
Okay.
I chose three that were really two female vocalists, one not female. One, I think I will probably lose a bunch of cool cred by saying it, but I have to admit it's in my rotation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we start there, since you seem troubled?
Okay, everyone. Well, I feel like I did a really good job coming here on To Keep It and seeming really cool, tossing around pop culture references.
Yeah, it's all over.
It's all going to end right now. I'm a big Dave Matthews fan.
Oh, well, that's not that old. Yeah.
Well, actually, though,
Wait, is it Under the Table and Dreaming? What
Under the
album
Table
are we
and
talking about?
We're going to talk about Under the Table Dreaming. We'll even do Crash. They came out both like 95, 96.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are like approaching 30 years old. I went to a Dave Matthews concert last week alone.
So did my friend Jared. He was telling
Really?
me it was great.
Yeah, it was great. And what was hard for me was going there and realizing that like everyone was old.
Oh, sure.
Including me. Including me.
You're like the monkey seeing the dot on its head. You're like, I'm old. Yes.
Yeah, that's what made me realize like, oh, this album that I listen to all the time is now it's an old album. It's 30 years old. That's been with me in my life. So yeah, I listen to that all the time still.
No, but also, again, that will happen to every album. Like, there will be a Sabrina Carpenter short and sweet 20th anniversary show, and everybody will be, 43.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's actually, I went to the Taylor Swift's, the Era Tour. I saw it in Stockholm, of all places, because it had already done its whole big North American tour, and I realized that I've been going to all these concerts of, like, artists, like nostalgia tours. Yeah. Right? Where... I saw Madonna, I saw Bruce Springsteen, I saw Phil Collins, and a lot of times they'll show videos of them when they're younger. At Madonna, you'd see some shots of her during Blonde Ambition, and you think, wow, what must have been like to be at one of those iconic tours? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go see Taylor Swift.
Right. I mean, I kind of get it. It's just a cultural moment. Like,
yeah,
why not just witness it? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't want to like go to a Taylor Swift show in 20 or 30 years and be like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like to have gone to that Eras tour. And I'm like, I can go. So anyway, it's in the spirit of that like Dave Matthews is basically a nostalgia act for me. I'm not a huge fan of their new stuff, but I listen, to Crash a lot.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
I guess I'm not surprised in a way, but you also have sort of like a sporty background, don't you?
I do.
So I
it's
feel like there is a
weird.
kind of bro component to you. I'm not surprised or rattled by this.
Please don't be rattled.
I had 2 Korn albums growing up. I grew up.
Wow.
I was into hard rock growing up, so
wow.
Some of that still lingers. Like I love like Led Zeppelin and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was in a fraternity. I was closeted for a while, so I like lived that straight life. For a while. So the Dave Matthews was like part of that. But I actually really love the Dave Matthews music. And so, but I have I play fantasy football.
Right.
So I do weird things like that.
Yeah, no, you contain multitudes. I'm glad to hear it. Though my taste runs old. Like I'm secretly 100 years older than I actually am.
Okay, great.
But like, among very old, I still play Tapestry by Carole King all the time.
Wow.
Which to me, the number one funny thing about Tapestry by Carole King, if you're not familiar, she's like one of the most vaunted songwriters of all time. She and her then husband Jerry Goffin wrote some of the defining rock songs, girl group songs of the 1960s, and then Carole King started releasing solo albums. This whole journey is chronicled in the musical Beautiful with Jesse Mueller.
Yes.
But she released this album Tapestry that contained some previously known songs, some new songs, and it became a sensation that was near the top of the Billboard charts for years. She won the Grammy for Album of the Year. But to me, the funniest thing about Tapestry is we treat it like this album of like grandmotherly wisdom, oh, she's in her sweaters and there's a cat on the cover. You know how old she was when that album came out? And we treated her like a fucking industry veteran. 28 years old.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We literally were like, oh, here she is, near death, Carole King. By the way, she's still with us. Lives in Idaho. Looks fabulous.
Yes, she does.
But the songs in that album, it's like, it's weird because like I tend to prefer people, songwriters who have like a sardonic edge.
Yeah.
There's like a 90s kind of nastiness to a lot of the music I love.
I remember you would always talk about Liz Phair.
I'm a huge Liz Phair fan. Yes, I love Liz Phair. That's an album that's even older than Under the Table and Dreaming.
Yep.
And they're very good friends, Liz and Dave Matthews. But like something about Carole King is like she never wavered from her kind of romantic point of view, and yet it was never cloying. Like it felt very realistic and lived in, even if she's literally writing a song about how she might give up living in the city and move to the suburbs.
Yeah.
And this is of course the woman who wrote Pleasant Valley Sunday by the Monkees. But there's just something about her that's very eternal and like not trying to be cool even for 1 second.
Yeah. She's just living in her truth in her music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was from that school of like Carly Simon.
Yes, Joni Mitchell. I was going to bring up Joni Mitchell too. Yes,
Joni Mitchell. In fact, I have just added another nostalgia album onto my lists. I've grown it to 4 because also sort of around that same time, I actually later in life, like only about like 5 or 6 years ago did I enter my Linda Ronstadt phase.
Well, you're never going to leave it because there's
Yeah.
not a second Linda Ronstadt. So if you want to listen to something like Linda Ronstadt, you can only listen to Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, absolutely. Linda Ronstadt, I actually don't, because this is sort of on the fly, I actually don't remember the name of the album.
Heart Like a Wheel is my favorite. Of
Heart Like
hers.
a Wheel, I have
Yeah.
that one, but the one, but that's not the one that has Blue Bayou on it.
No, yeah.
The one that has Blue Bayou, whatever album that is, it's just so beautiful. It's so wonderful. And I what also strikes me is how free artists were to do covers of songs.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and she herself was not a songwriter, so she would cover everything. Yeah.
Yeah, she would cover everything. And so there was always there was covers at Tumbling Dice. She did a cover of Tumbling Dice.
The idea that this woman only covered one Rolling Stones song in her life, and it was that fucking good.
Yes.
She should have covered Exile on Main Street. She should have done the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes, but also the way her voice can go from like tender and sweet to just like strong but aching.
And with rage. I think her
Yeah.
X factor is like she was not afraid to sound angry, you know? Even if she is this like power kind of Celine type vocalist, you know?
Yeah, no. So I'm like really happy that I finally entered my Linda Ronstadt phase because she's just wonderful. And also, not for nothing, it's not on that album, but when it shows up on my iTunes every now and then, I don't know much, but I know I love you with Aaron Neville.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey.
I wouldn't have intuitively ever put them together, and they were just perfect.
It was just the way their voices both like lilt together like two feathers.
They're the Lilters.
They're the double
They
lilt.
should have been a folk duo called the
Yeah.
Lilters. I think the oldest album I still play is "If You Can Believe Your Eyes and Ears" by the Mamas and the Papas, which is
wow.
1965. I think of Carpenter's, Bee Gees, and ABBA as the ultimate harmonizers, but really, Mamas and the Papas and the Beach Boys came before them, and I need to respect that a little bit more. It's so interesting that people are obsessed with the drama within Fleetwood Mac. Guys, read one biography of the Mamas and the Papas. They are sick.
Yeah. And again, Nepo Baby, they produced a lot of Nepo Babies.
I love Mackenzie Phillips.
And they have infiltrated all of Hollywood in
Yes,
many
Bijou.
different ways.
Yes, we can go
They're
keep
just
going.
like
yes.
all over the place.
Right.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Phillips, also big board gamer like you.
Is she really?
Yes, she is obsessed with it. I met her at a game night once. This woman knew everything.
Okay, I need to connect with her because you know what? My distant cousin was once a cast member on One Day at a Time.
Who's your distant cousin?
Richard Masser.
Oh, he was in the early seasons of it. And
Yes,
then he
was
died on the show. Yes.
Yeah, he was pre-Schneider, right?
Yes. No, Schneider was always there, but he was in a relationship with Bonnie Franklin.
Yes, well,
Yes.
that's my cousin.
That is so funny. I'm a
on
huge
my
fan of
mom's
that show.
side, so it's all connected to Francis Ford Coppola, I'd like to add.
Jesus Christ, power family. Mamas and the Papas, obviously California Dreamin's on this album, Monday. Their cover of Spanish Harlem, which if we're listening to Spanish Harlem, I prefer this other woman I was going to bring up, Aretha Franklin, Young Gifted and Black. That's when she was always a soulful artist. This is when she went Soul Train.
Okay.
If you know Rock Steady, that's my favorite Aretha Franklin song.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Aretha, a legend.
That's 1972, yeah.
I would say probably in terms of like the biggest nostalgia old album that I listen to all the time would have to be Private Dancer by Tina Turner.
Oh, yes, it's 84. Yes.
84,
The greatest comeback in pop history.
Absolutely. I still remember as a child walking through Caldors. I don't know if you had them where you were growing up, but there was like a store. It was like a Target of like the 80s.
Oh.
I remember walking through Caldors and seeing the Private Dancer album, and Tina Turner sort of like on like a rock or something. And it's like she's got like a black backdrop, and she sort of has this strange stance with one leg out in front this way, and one leg going back out this way, and her hair is big. And I remember being like entranced by this image, and my mom actually bought it. My mom was like, "Oh, I actually wanted to buy that," and I would listen to that album all the time, and I continue to listen to it. I mean, I have Tina Turner's greatest hits. I mean, Tina Turner is like, I grew up on Tina Turner. I continue to listen to her endlessly. I follow her Instagram where her estate posts videos constantly. I watched the documentary 2 times. Like, Private Dancer is a brilliant, wonderful album. And obviously it's got What's Love Got to Do With It and Private Dancer, but it's deep. There's like a song called 1984, which is really strange, but so good. Steel Claws, like this rock and roll song where she just goes off. It's an iconic album.
I Can't Stand the Rain on it, which
I Can't Stand the Rain,
which is such an interesting take on that song. It has
Yes.
this sort of like sinister thump to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing. I loved that when I was a kid. That was like that sound just made me so delighted.
Yeah, my favorite song by her is on the next album, Break Every Rule, Typical Male.
I love Typical Male.
Yeah, which also has that like a little bit of world music in it. You can hear like the sounds of like the marimba.
It was very much like mid-'80s.
Yes.
Mid-'80s music loved sort of like a reggae kind of quality to it, you know?
Yes. No, I love that album. And by the way, so quotable. Every time I watch an interview clip of her, she is slaying.
Always.
She's like, I know I'm attractive. You know, just like immediately intimidating.
She's. I mean, like, Tina Turner is like, you know, she's like the icon of my life.
Are you a Joni Mitchell person?
So, I don't know much Joni Mitchell.
Oh, okay, interesting.
However, I started to become Joni Mitchell curious after that video went viral of like her at the Newport Jazz Festival. And then she did the same thing at the Grammys. And then someone gave me a ticket to see her at the Hollywood Bowl, so I went and saw that.
Oh.
And it was, you know, that was an exquisite, wonderful show. And so I felt actually very privileged because I was amongst lots of people who grew up with her. And I felt privileged to be in that space as someone who didn't know her music very well. But, you know, her lyrics are obviously excellent. And there was a wonderful Kennedy Center tribute to her a few years ago that also made me even more interested in her. So I'm starting my journey.
Something I listened to all of Joni Mitchell's albums, including her 60s ones. That's among the oldest stuff I still spin. Something I'm fascinated with by her, though, is like, so everybody agrees that the album Blue is fabulous, but I feel like when people name her favorite song, a song that always comes up is Free Man in Paris. If you know that, it's from Court and Spark. And it's a good pop song. It is literally just a song about how David Geffen would prefer to go on more vacations. I'm like, guys, this is the least important thing she ever wrote. This is like one of the like emotional diarists of our time. It's such a funny song. Like, it's literally him being like, I deal with people on the telephone all day, and God, do I love going to Paris. It's such a crazy song for her to be like at the top of her like most listened to or whatever. That's my gripe about Joni Mitchell. And of course I listen to Carly Simon all the time. If you don't know the song Why from the 80s, which is produced by Nile Rodgers, it is a banger and people are covering it all the time now. Honey
Really?
Dijon just did a cover of it.
Listen, I'm always shocked when people don't know about Let the River Run.
Oh,
like
Oscar-winning Best Original Song 1988.
A beautiful, wonderful song that I play all the time.
And also it's like, talk about like the sounds of the world coming in.
And that great intro to a movie. I mean, the Statue of Liberty swirling around. I would have liked
We're talking about the movie Working Girl, which if you haven't seen it, everybody is hot and awesome in it, including Sigourney Weaver.
What a perfect segue. What a perfect wrap up to that, or pin, or whatever you want to call it.
What are the oldest albums you still spin? I didn't even get to bring up the Velvet Underground and Nico. Love Nico. We can talk about that some other
Sade,
time.
Love Deluxe.
Ooh, great album. Great album. Actually, all of her albums. Diamond Life, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we're back, it's Keep It. Keep It is brought to you by Acorns. What's a money goal I have? Not blowing all the money. I just find it so pleasurable to spend money. I don't really know what I'm doing with the money, holding on to it. And I know there's supposed to be some sort of like rad feeling you get from knowing the money will be there. But did you know that if you spend it on a shirt, oh my God, endorphins. Another money goal I have, I got to get that townhome in Palm Springs soon. When you're gay and getting older, there's only a few places you can go. And honestly, those damn hotels and those brown environs are calling to me. Acorns is the financial wellness app that helps you invest for your future, save for tomorrow, and spend smarter today. Acorns makes it easy to start doing more with your money. In fact, you can just start automatically investing with just your spare change. I know I did. You don't need to be a finance whiz. Acorns puts your money into an expert-built portfolio to make sure you're investing wisely, not wildly. Plus, Acorns can support your money goals in life. A new car, a first home, investing for your kids, saving for retirement, and so much more. Acorns even has a checking account that automatically invests for you and an emergency fund that grows your money. It's all in one easy-to-use app. What do I love about Acorns? That whole thing where I just spend money and don't think about it. I can also save money and not think about it. Acorns works with my mindset, which is to say, a lack of mindfulness altogether. Sign up now and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $25 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/keepit or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/keepit. Keep It is brought to you by Nutrafol. If you're dealing with hair issues like thinning or shedding but feel totally stuck on what to try next, I get it. But there are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why I gave Nutrafol a closer look. It's not just hype, it's physician-formulated, clinically tested, and even recommended by dermatologists. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. You can feel great about what you're putting into your body since Nutrafol hair growth supplements are backed by peer-reviewed studies and NSF Content certified, the gold standard in third-party certification for supplements. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficacy using a variety of hair measurement tools like hair counts and pull tests to assess growth, quality, shedding, and texture. Adding Nutrafol into your daily routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Automated deliveries and free shipping keep you on track. Plus, with a Nutrafol subscription, you can save up to 20%. You'll have access to free one-on-one naturopathic doctor consults to support you on your hair growth journey, and a Headspace meditation membership is included. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code KEEPIT. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code KEEPIT. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code KEEPIT. And now it's time for our favorite segment of the episode. It's Keep It. Ben, you look like you're about to pop off.
I'm going to pop off.
That's what they used to say on Bad Girls Club.
With a pan, you know, banging it. Here's what needs to be kept.
Okay.
The new season of Project Runway.
Which we've actually discussed a bit on this show, yes.
Okay, well, honestly, Project Runway on Freeform, I think, is terrible. I think that it is fallen apart. This is not the Project Runway that I want to watch. I think Law Roach is very funny. Law Roach is Law Roach. He does the Law Roach thing. He's very blunt. He's acerbic. He will say what's on his mind, but even he cannot save this season. They brought it to Freeform, and they decided that they were going to reality show it up. And this is a show where you see professionals trying to break into the industry, being judged by other professionals. And the whole vibe of Project Runway are these sort of regular people who happen to be wonderful with fashion and with their art. And they come in and they try to do their best, and they are judged for it, and they will excel or they will go their way. But this version of it, we have like all sorts of reality show elements that I never asked for and are just inappropriate here on Project Runway. We have things where, for instance, they turn it on to the guests, onto the contestants, and say, "How about you vote off someone today?" Like, what is that about? You guys have teams. You have to choose someone from your team to that team, and to this team to that team. It's like way too much, almost like silliness. It just feels like it's any other reality show out there right now. There have been tons of Project Runway imitators over the years, and none have ever been able to come close to Project Runway, because Project Runway sort of is more of prestige reality TV, and it holds itself to a certain standard. And by going this route, Project Runway has totally just cheapened itself and become like any other generic reality show. And there are all these little things with captions that are trying to be funny.
The captions are really a bit of a nuisance.
They're just like not funny enough. You have these twins. You have everyone sort of like playing a character instead of just being there to do work and to do the best that they can. Everyone is really over the top. You have Utica, who comes on, like
Drag Race alum, who is a contestant this year.
Yes. Like in full drag, which is great. I mean, the drag was actually amazing.
Yeah.
But like, it just feels very much like a reality show now, and it is a reality show, but it used to feel more like a reality competition, and I feel like they've just cheapened the entire show.
Well, again, I also feel like getting rid of Tim Gunn got rid of a certain kind of sophistication we associated with the show, even though, again, I like Christian Siriano, and I love how fast he is with the input, because it's like, I would not distrust that. But two things I'm having a problem with this season are, one, putting the elimination the next episode is a complete pain in the ass, and it also associates you or acquaints you with the fact that you don't really care who is eliminated.
Yes.
Like, there's not enough suspense to bring you to the next episode. Like, you almost forget who did badly. Yeah. There's something about the season that's like not sticking. And then also, it's like what you just said. They had contestants vote off one of the other players, and I was surprised they even left it in. One of the other contestants on the show was like, "This is ridiculous," or something. Like, she literally said it on the air, and it was almost exposing how the contestants are sort of rebelling against the show like we are.
Yeah, it feels almost cheap. They did a runway show in the workroom. that just like it was judged by only law.
For no reason.
Like the first episode, they did a runway show in like the lobby of a building where you can see exit signs, and it looks rinky dink. It just feels cheap. It feels low rent. It's just not the Project Runway that I'm accustomed to or that I like. I think it should be aspirational, and I think there should be an element of when we see it, we're also almost like learning something.
Yeah.
And instead, it just feels like they've decided to put these personalities, front and center and amp them up in a way that I just feel like is totally unappealing.
They're also just hurting for a good personality. I have to say, like, nobody is really like hilarious. There's a lot of like try hard, like people try calling themselves fabulous whenever it's like, I don't believe that. I don't even believe you thought of that. I believe somebody kind of fed that to you, which is just a bad feeling.
You sort of get the sense that there's a producer off to the side telling those twins, like, if you don't like what they're saying, just vocalize, say how you feel, because this is your form. And so they're like sassing off to the judges a lot. And honestly, like Law Roach, he is like very entertaining, but he put someone in the bottom three who had like a pretty decent outfit. And he put them in the bottom three because he didn't like, I think, the shoes, the styling, the accessories. He's like, otherwise this is a gorgeous dress, but like the fact that you put those shoes with it, I'm like, that's not right.
And it's also not what you're judging.
That's not what you're judging. But that's, I think, his specific area. So he responds to that. So I just feel like the show has lost its way. I feel like it came to a new home and they tried to put a stamp on it. And sometimes this happens with shows where they just like try to revamp it for no good reason. They should just like it was always working and just keep going forward with it.
I feel like this show goes through waves though. Like when it moved to Lifetime, I thought it had immediately sunk, and then I would say it got better. And like there was season 21 a couple years ago was amazing. So I'm hopeful it will come back. And even like some of the Carly Kloss years were really good.
I like those years as well. But I think that like right now it's sort of in a
it's hurting.
It's in a free fall.
It's tough.
Yeah.
My keep it goes to a quote I'm sure we all read.
Yes.
But it still sort of blew my mind. It belongs to a man named Snoop Dogg. Who, I hate railing against people in the game show community. He hosted The Joker's Wild.
Of course.
The reboot. Not the original. The original.
No.
Okay, apparently Snoop Dogg took his grandchild to go see the movie Lightyear, and it couldn't have gone worse. He goes, It fucked me up. I'm like scared to go to the movies now. Y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for. It threw me for a loop. And what is he talking about? I guess in the movie Lightyear, there's two female characters who have a baby, and the grandchild asked Snoop, well, how is that possible? From a science perspective, how could they possibly do that? These are kids. We have to show that at this age. They're going to ask questions. I don't have the answer. Not only is this so stupid that like you're so vexed about how to answer a very simple question about the existence of queer people.
Yeah, and also, by the way, how many other questions can you not answer? Like kids ask questions all the time that you just cannot answer.
Right.
Improv.
But it's so funny because this is such an outdated problem to have that there is literally stand-up about this very question. Louis C.K., whom I'm loath to bring up in a defensive way to be on his side, has a whole bit about how gay people want to get married and you don't want them to because you can't talk to your fucking kids for 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It's like you should be privy to this conversation even a little bit. And I think in a way we've conferred a coolness on Snoop Dogg that is perhaps unearned.
Maybe. He's sort of, sometimes Snoop Dogg does feel like a little bit like a blank slate that we just project things, a canvas that we add our things to. What's that effect that's in silent film that was pioneered? I feel like you would know it.
Oh, that's exactly right. He's just like Buster Keaton is what I was thinking.
And the Battleship Potemkin, something with the people looking horrified or I don't know. But I wonder, have we been doing that? Because there's part of me that feels like, how are you friends with Martha Stewart?
Right.
But then
Not that she's, again, does she like gay people?
I don't know.
Are we sure?
But there have to be gays around her.
Yeah, you would think there was like 3 or 4. Yeah.
At least that like you're going to be friends with this woman and you're actually going to capitalize off of it, but then also be homophobic? I don't know. It just like... This is just like lazy homophobia almost.
Right. Well, it's also just like, again, if you thought about gay people going to movies, heterosexual relationships are forced on them every time they see a movie. So imagine being that. Imagine. No, assume they're people. Like you, Snoop Dogg, a person.
Yes.
Imagine they're people. And they have to think, oh, once again, it feels like my people don't exist. You have the opposite problem. You only get straight couples. and the appearance of one couple, you think a gay couple, shatters your world. You can see how that's problematic for the gay people, not you.
Yeah, I this whole thing of like, how do we talk to our children about this, or like they're too young to hear about this. You know what? Like, children hear a lot of stuff really young too, and it's fine. And actually, maybe sometimes the younger the better, and that way it's like normalizes it for them that it's not some freak occurrence that is they have to be sheltered from their whole life. It's just part of the world around them.
Also, if they're asking questions, it sounds like they're probably capable of understanding the answer.
Yeah.
It's not like you say the answer and then their brain cracks and an alien flies out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is just it's kind of, to me, shocking that this is coming from Snoop Dogg of all people.
No, I didn't know he was capable of this stupidity, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought he seemed a little bit more evolved.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess not.
No. The gin and juice has gotten to him, and it's certain your pithy loser quote. I don't even know what to say to it about it. It's so upsetting.
I know. I feel like there's like some sassy rebuke to him, like, well, I don't want to have to explain your outfit, you know, but
right.
you know, but it's like I don't even have the energy to craft it.
It's just a bad quote. No, it sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is our show. Ben, thank you for being fabulous as you are, for explaining Love Island to me. And
an honor.
and for existing in the love of Sigourney Weaver with me.
Oh my goodness, thank you for being the one person who knows what it feels like to be in that Prince concert with me.
Oh, please.
And seeing Whitney Houston come on stage.
I mean,
that's something will always bond us for the rest of our lives.
Yes, no, we went through the fire, quote Shaka.
We did.
Yes.
We did.
She sounded great.
That was, by the way, the headline. She sounded the best out of all of them.
Yes. And also, by the way, Prince was dancing his ass off at that concert.
Yeah. And those three women who came up during the intermissions and sang that cover of Angel by Sarah McLachlan, I still remember it to this day.
Right. Oh, my God.
Lewis,
we're not done coping with this yet.
We're not. Lewis, thank you so much for having me. It really is an honor to be here.
And where can the people find you, damn it?
Well, my podcast is Watch for Crappens, which is on all the podcast platforms. And then I'm Instagram is at Watch for Crappens, and I'm at Ben Mandelker on Instagram and on Twitter and all the places. And I also have a Substack, nbdfancy.com, where I write about food, which has nothing to do with anything we're talking about today.
I am sick of how many goddamn interests you have.
I'm in my
From
hobby
Dave
phase.
Matthews to knitting to
I know,
food.
football.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's gross.
You just like things. This life is going well for you.
I like things. I do.
That's our show. We will see you in 2 weeks after Keep It comes back after the long Labor Day holiday.